Welcome to day 3 of our January challenge and our second day of working on the Seal Lullaby. This is the recording where we're going through roughly 8 bars a day. If you started on the other level, you'll want to move on to that video to catch up on those ones. So we're going to start today towards the end of bar 10, but first of all I'm going to play you from yesterday all the way through to where we're going to finish today. You can hear how that all fits together. If you want to join in on the first part, you're very welcome. I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you'll have heard there everything we learnt yesterday going into that pause, and I probably pulled slightly back as well going into that pause just to be a bit more dramatic with it. Then we had the pause, and then we're back into tempo at this point. Da 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 da. So it really resolves properly the end of our phrase. And then we have this kind of ripple. That section there, we really want it to feel like it's just this ripple happening, that it's not two separate hands playing and that you can hear a difference. Oh, I can hear it's transitioned to a different hand there because that's playing louder or not as loud. So about it just being something that belongs together, and irrespective of which hand's playing it. So let's go straight in at the end of that bar 10. So we've just done our pause. So the right hand goes B, C, A, B, C, C. Now, people that have learnt with me before will know that I love to change finger on a repeated note. But you also want to end on a strong sounding finger as well. So you've got some options about how you do the fingering there. On that double C, the C at the end of bar 11 into bar 12. So we have B, C, A, B, C, C, and that's probably the nicest way to do it. So what I did there was I did B, C with 2 and 1. I then, before I played my 1, got my 3 ready on the A, so that I could then put 3, 2, 1 on. I play my 3, 2, I've got the 1 for the C at the end of that bar, and then I neatly swap to a finger 2 for the long C that we want to ring out in bar 12. So should we just try that together? So I'll give you a counting of 2, and then we'll start with the right hand just on that B, C, just playing these few notes. Okay, 1, 2. That's it. And really watch your timing there, that B was a dotted crotchet. Da da dum da da dum. So that we've got that long note to wait there. There's nothing to guide you in the left hand with that. There's nothing playing on that third beat, so you've got to feel it inside, okay? The left hand there underneath that is playing like it did back in bar 8. It's playing a low F and C with 1 and 3 because it's that bigger gap. So it's happening on these notes here. I'm going to slide down below the mid-range of my harp. It might be that you can't see my left hand right now because it's hidden by some music, but trust me that it's there, and that it's happening on those low notes. So F and C, then they move up 1 to G and D. Okay, then I'm going to open out to C, G, C. So I've got the octave and the 5th. Very common shape. If you can just open your hand out and feel that shape. We have to always be careful with our left hand that we don't spend too much time trying to see where our fingers are going on. Because when we try and see where our fingers are going on, we end up placing in really awkward shapes. As much as possible, we still want our fingers to be lower than our thumb. When I say as much as possible, I don't mean we want it to be as low as possible. I mean, we want them to be lower than our thumb wherever it is possible to do that. So C, G, C. Okay, so we just add that in under that right hand. Right hand's going to go B, C, A, B, C, C. Left hand's going to play the F and C, going to the G and D, and then open up that octave and fifth. And if you really just pay attention to where your thumb's going and trust that it's going to be the octave, that would be great. Okay, so we're going to play that together. My left hand's going to come lower than the middle, so it's going to possibly disappear a bit off the bottom of your screen. After a count of 2, 1, 2. Okay, lovely. So then we need to add in what's happening after that. So having gone C, G, C, and like I mentioned earlier, the right hand takes over the notes by playing D, E, G, but they belong together as a run. Okay, so that bar there, bar 12, we started with our right hand on middle C with finger 2, and the left hand on the octave and the fifth. Then the top hand immediately takes over with that D, E, G, 3, 2, 1. Left hand gets ready on C and G with 3 and 1. We don't place the E yet because we're heading up from that C. If you remember our placing rules, we only place in one direction at a time. Then we can always trust that our brain can tell our fingers the right order to play things in because it knows that rule. So we play the 3. Now we can put the 2 on. We play the thumb because it was there first, and then we play that finger 2. So, and that's answered by a 2, 1 on the D and G. And then we play, very similar to bar 12, we go back to the octave in the fifth and the left, and 3, 2, 1 on the D, E, G in the top hand. And answers with that C, E, G again, okay? So we really want to watch the balance, like I said, and to do that, I'm not putting a lot of pressure behind these fingers. I'm not really squeezing them hard, but I am making sure that the end position is into my hand. And that is always easier if your fingers are lower than your thumb. Okay, so. Thinking musically, you may well swell with the swell of the music. Dum ba dum ba da da, bum ba dum ba dee, which might help a little bit with the fact that your right hand is likely to want to play a little bit firmer or a little bit louder. But then it's your left hand's job to do that as it heads up. Swells back down, and then we swell up again, and then take the swell back down. Okay, just like the waves of the sea. Okay, so what I'm going to do now for you, and again, if you want to come back to this point for replaying purposes, make a note of what the time is right now. I'm going to play from the beginning because this all belongs together right through to the end of today, which is just towards the end of bar 15. What I'm going to do on that pause, so that we can do this together, you'll get the feel yourself when you play about how long you want it to be. So what I'm going to do on it, so I'm going to make it last exactly another beat before my right hand comes in. So it's like I'm turning that bar into a 4-beat bar. So in that bar, which is bar 10, I've got the G in the top hand, 2, 3, 4, and boof. Okay, that's just the way I'm going to do the pause in this play along, so that you know exactly when to start again and you don't have any anxiety about where you're coming in again. Okay, so from the very beginning, both hands on that D triad like we learnt yesterday, after a count of 3. Nice and quiet, but really bending our fingers in well. 1, 2, 3. Super, well done. If, like me, you find that you don't always do that fingering, the B, C, A, B, C, C, and you have already just played the C at the end of bar 11 with a finger 2, you could always swap to a finger 3 on that bar 12. If you're very good at bending fingers in and having your fingers lower than your thumb, you'll cope fine with that. Okay? Enjoy it. Tomorrow we start the sort of main verse part, if you will, of our Seal Lullaby. Well done.